And we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, don't you dare be sour. Spark yo spliff and feel the flower. It's a crew day. Yes, it is. We're back with episode 5, week 5 of the crew day. We're just waiting on Remy to hop in at any moment. But while we wait on that, I'll just go through, let everybody introduce themselves. We got a special guest this week. This guy.
Very special.
Hello.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Nick the Geek from the Wrestling Legion YouTube channel. I have known Matty for about 3 years.
It feels like we've known each other for a very long time.
Yeah, but it's been about 3 years of doing this stuff. We haven't worked together in a while. He shot me a text saying, do I want to do the show? I said, yes, I don't sleep, so of course I want to do the show. And here I am, looking forward to the show.
And what is it that you do over at Wrestling Legion?
We do podcasts every week. Sundays, usually at around 8 to 8:30 UK time. I have no idea what time that is up in the mountains for you, Matty. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with time difference.
Well, hold on. So it's 7:30 right now. You said it's 2:30 a.m. your time, yeah?
Correct.
So just shoot 6 hours ahead. That'd be 1 a.m. my time.
Oh, there you go. 1 a.m. for UK time. Mountain time, as I will refer to it from now on. We do podcasts every Sunday. On top of that, I've just started a wrestling booking fantasy warfare show called Wrestling With Your Thoughts, which hopefully, while I'm here, Matty, do you want to do it?
I would love to. It's
awesome.
Been a long time since I've did a wrestling book, but I'm very much looking forward to doing it again.
Awesome. I will pencil you in. I have the rematch with your friend, the captain, and they have to do it again. The Drip King, Jimmy Bay, as it was another tie.
They have to do it one more time.
So they have to do it one more time. This time they are booking Survivor Series of this year, Starrcade 1997, because I'm a bastard, and the last Nitro, because I'm a bastard. It's going to be a very interesting show. It was brilliant. It's loads of fun. Usually it runs for about 3 hours if everyone's in for a long but hilarious time. And on top of that, there's going to be lots of other stuff coming to the channel soon. We're just in the middle of a relaunch because one of our cohorts has been in Japan for a while. He's just got back and he is currently building his studio.
And the other one is on a technical injury.
The other one keeps breaking his wrist. He's broken his wrist and he's broken his laptop. So
was there any correlation?
No. The wrist was catching. The wrist was being a good humanitarian and catching somebody who fell over. The laptop, I have no idea. But I think it's all fixed and we should, fingers crossed, be up running for this Sunday.
I'm so looking forward to seeing you guys back on YouTube.
I thank you kindly, so much. It's been too long.
And moving on, KB, I feel like it's going to be the exact same intro as every time, but go ahead.
If it ain't broke, Matty, come on now. Y'all know what it is. I ain't got nothing to promote. Just here for what? Views and vibes. That's what we doing. It may spark a little something while we here, but that's another conversation. Follow me on Twitter at Vigorous Mental. I watch all sports. I'm a wrestling and basketball fiend, particularly. And I'm just here to support the crew day.
Crew day.
To the wheels fall
off. And moving on, Davey Callis today. Did I miss something with Don Callis?
Remy has dubbed me as Don Callis. We are one and the same person.
Well, you do have a bit of a Cyrus the Virus vibe going on, Dave.
Yeah.
So it's the glasses.
Gotta be. You can find me every Thursday on the crew day, Sunday with the Raw Ball watch along for the football follies in the NFL, the weekly recap on Tuesdays. We also do watch alongs.
Yeah, you, Remy, and Suge have really been holding it down on the watch along and for like daily stuff now.
Yeah,
we really appreciate that. Y'all bringing a hell of a lot of views to us.
It's our handsome faces.
Can't deny that.
We did one for Bound for Glory there last Saturday. We did another one last night for the Dynamites. So might be one on the go for this Saturday. You never know. We can book another fine gentleman to do that for the MJF Kenny Omega.
I'm
Oh, yeah, I'm
Oh,
happy to
man.
join you for that one.
Oh, so you, Remy, Davey, and Nick.
If as long as I have time
Yeah,
and can sort out my viewing thing. I used to have two. I used to use two computers, but I've only got one now.
Okay,
So-
understandable. It's a little hard to keep two computers running at the same time.
Yeah, well, it's one of them just exists in a bag now as a broken heap.
Oh,
Mm.
I've tried the let's watch two pay-per-views at the same time. That doesn't work.
not the
No,
same
that just
effect.
gets confusing.
Oh,
Doesn't work.
But as usual, crew day, we really don't got a whole like set schedule of what the fuck we're gonna talk about. So Davey, throw a random topic at us.
I actually did a bunch of topics up today at Remy's request. Where are they at here? Let's see.
You and Remy really on top of this, getting a list together, and we just derailed the show about not even 10 minutes in.
No, generally we kind of it's not in order or anything, but so we'll go right back to last week. EO retained against Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Ridiculous.
Who is next for EO, and is she going to get booked a little bit more to the forefront in her own title reign?
It's gonna be Bailey, isn't it?
Rumors are that we're getting a damage control triple threat at 40.
oh yeah, I'm here for that.
As long as Dakota Kai is healthy, she should be back and good by then.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if we do a remain, if they're doing a triple threat at Mania, EO is literally place warming that belt for Bailey. This entire time, she's just place warming. That's why they're not strapping a rocket to her. They're not giving her any decent storylines, except for she works with Bailey.
Yeah, the damage control is fine. That's essentially the storyline right now.
And
Yeah.
they are keeping Dakota in the forefront, even though she is injured. They're keeping her
Yeah.
in view. So there
With
is
the big
something
Steve
there.
Austin knee braces.
I might piss off some tribalists with this, but they're doing what the Outcasts were doing, but better.
Yes. That's because the Outcast was done very poorly.
Very.
There's only
was,
one
yes.
good thing to come out of the Outcast, and that is timeless Tony Storm.
And Suge is
Hilarious.
at home. Suge is at home. He is resting for the day, charging up his battery. Because let's not forget, boy got 7 jobs.
Busy
Rest up,
man.
Suge.
But yeah. Completely derailed it just seeing Suge pop up.
That's always what happens.
And
Oh,
to stick with the haps on last Friday, sky blue to dark blue.
I am liking the transition, but I'm also liking that Willow is showing that she's fighting it.
really?
Yeah.
You're liking the fact that they're just doing the exact same story they did with Julia Hart, but 6 months later?
I feel like that she is stealing the power from Malachi. Because as Davey pointed out, Malachi looks like his shit's retreating.
Because when Malachi went out last Saturday, he had no face paint.
No,
No
just
eye.
the eye.
Nothing. Right?
So it looks like he's losing his power and Julia might be gaining it and possessing others with it. So I like that a lot.
So a possible
That's
female
fine.
House of
That-
Black.
That's fine. But AW need to do a little thing called explain your story.
Yes.
As we all know, don't take this the wrong way, viewers at home. People are idiots.
Oh, I think everybody watching will agree with that.
People need things explained to them on a really dumb level. It's just a fact, right? The general masses couldn't find their own state on a map. It's a case of do this story and do it well, because you're just repeating what you did 6 months ago, but tell the audience what you're doing, as opposed to having Excalibur throw out the odd quip, which is in reference to it. Actually explain the story as it goes along, beat by beat. People need an explanation, because otherwise they just lose interest. And I have a horrible feeling, because Sky Blue's ring work has not improved since she got onto the main roster, as it were, that people are going to lose interest. I mean, for God's sake, she picked a finisher she can only do on people that are shorter than her, and she's the second shortest member of the women's division.
Very valid point there.
I enjoy the nuanced the slow nuances of this storyline, like you said, with her stealing the power from Malachi, stuff like that. But again, I agree with Nick. You gotta lay it down in layman's terms. What's happening? What's going on to keep us engaged? You know what I mean? Like we may know what's going on. We've got the foresight, but the average fan does not have that kind of foresight. They need to know what's going on at all times. And Tony's just failing miserably at that from almost all angles. Like he just slaps these great matches together, but it's like, give me something else. Like give me a reason for them to fight. Tell me what's going on. Just have somebody say a few lines. Like it's just Tony.
Perfect example of AEW is Andy, who we work with over on Wrestling Legion's got a kid. And he was watching AEW with his kid the other week. And his 13-year-old son turned around and said, Dad, why are they fighting? It's a 13-year-old.
That's what I'm saying.
There should be no point when you're like, when we were, David, you're older than me. Right? I mean, probably the only person here that is older than me. You watch WCW when you were a kid.
I feel older than you. Does that count?
Nah, not really. You watched WCW when you were a kid, yeah?
WCW, WWF.
Yeah. I'm going to use WCW as an example because Tony Khan jizzes all over the memory of WCW on a weekly basis. WCW put on banger matches. It was why I preferred it to WWE. The match quality was always of a much higher guard because they had better workers for the most part. But the storylines were ingratiated and they were explained by the commentary team, by backstage vignettes, and by interviews on a weekly basis. Tony has started to do this.
He has, yes. He has integrated that more into what he's doing than when they first started. Very much so.
In fact, as this is completely derailed, I'm just going to take over the whole show. All right. I've got one question that I want to ask you blokes. How do we get to Sting and Darby in March?
I don't think
it's got to be Darby. Who else? Jesus Christ, it better not be Ric Flair.
Dave has been watching wrestling since before the Ric Flair plane crash.
It's been a while, yeah.
I've been watching wrestling since before the Ric Flair plane crash.
Facts.
I wasn't a glimmer in anybody's nutsack at that point in time. Shit.
Nope.
I do want to mention something KB said. It was just a word, nuanced. Do you find AEW's, the way they run their shows, they are more subtle and more nuanced?
Is it subtle and nuanced, or is it just lazy?
No, I think it is nuanced.
Yeah, but
I don't think it's lazy, but it's also a work in progress too.
True. The fact is, I think a lot of us forget AEW have only been around 5 years this year.
Yeah.
Like
True.
That is one. A lot of companies die within 5 years of going up against WWE.
Oh yeah,
a lot of companies.
Impact is another anomaly that stuck around.
Yeah, but Impact changed its name like a bajillion times.
Good point. Oh, it's TNA again. Shit.
And now it's TNA again, which it never should have changed in the first place. People have been chanting TNA for 20 years, and yet they keep changing the name to Global Force and to Impact and to what was that other one? There was another one as well, but I can't remember what it was. It only lasted 2 weeks.
Yeah, we broached this topic before. As far as how people consume the stories that they're being told, right? Over the course of the last probably 2 decades, they've been conditioned to consume them one way.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a story, and we're going to really, really tell you what this story is several times through the show, right? If you've been watching for 10, 15, 20 years, that's how you consume things, right? AEW doesn't do that, right?
No.
So if you're taking that way of watching something from one promotion over to the other, you will have a harder time with it because you have to pay attention on an AEW show, and I'm not blowing their horn. They have issues they got to fix.
Oh yeah.
But you have to pay attention, or you are going to miss stuff.
They are subtle. That you used earlier is the correct word.
Yeah.
They do a lot of subtle things on the show, little nods, the ring gear people wear, little Well,
Yeah.
for a start, the best example in the last month and a half is Max walking past Kenny Omega and saying 13 days, bitch, 15 days, bitch. Nobody knew why he was saying it until Excalibur eventually came out last week and said, oh, yeah, he's talking about Kenny Omega's world heavyweight title record.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it actually goes a little bit longer than that. It started on BTE.
Mm-hmm.
Max was in the dressing room.
Yeah.
21 days, bitch, or whatever days it was.
Yeah.
But they laid the groundwork for it there, gained some traction. It's like, okay,
well,
we're off and running now.
It's a controversial point, but I've been saying they need to do this for a while. Being the Elite was the spiritual forefather of AEW storytelling.
Yep.
They need to integrate it into the shows. Being the Elite should not be its own separate thing anymore. Its views have plummeted on YouTube compared to what it used to get. They're less than half of what they get on a weekly basis now. It's a shame, but it's true. Yeah. The fact is, we now live in a generation where people's attention span can be measured in nanoseconds.
and
also true.
And that's being generous. And
that is being very generous. Everybody consumes information at a super fast rate. They watch shorts on YouTube. The shorter your video, the more likely it is to get views. We all know this. Long form content, as much as we all love doing it, is a big risk, but it's worth doing it if you can get the intention, if you can get their attention. Mm-hmm. Getting their attention is the hard part. Keeping it is even harder. And this is why I worry for AEW. They're very, very good at, and my brother calls it all surprise wrestling. Because Tony Khan likes to do surprise, 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 new announcement, new announcement, new announcement. And on a short-term basis, this is very good for keeping people's attention. Because they go, ooh, what's that? What's that? Shiny, shiny. Got to look at that over there. It's like a magpie going to its nest.
Yeah. And funny you should say that, because I remember mentioning that. You know, ooh, the big shiny object. Ooh, the big shiny surprise, right? It grabs your attention, right?
Exactly.
It's not a long-term thing. It's just a short hit. But it grabs your attention.
I also blame TikTok Sugar.
I'm with Sugar here.
but that BTE
for
thing
real.
that Nick mentioned there, what they should have done with it, right? That segment, right? They didn't have to air the whole thing. Just the last part of it. They should have taken that and put it on either Collision or Dynamite, right?
Agreed.
There's your groundwork. Go forward, and now you're at last night, right?
Yeah.
3 days, bitch.
Yeah. And I'd also like to point out, I am not upset that this match is only getting 3 days build.
Because it didn't need a whole week or a whole month's build.
The fact is, Kenny Omega is the measuring stick of AEW. Yeah. Anytime Kenny is put into a match with anybody, people talk. Look what happened with the Kyle Fletcher match the other week. It had 1 week's build and everyone was like, oh, he's going to wrestle Kyle Fletcher. This is going to be a banger. Yeah. Kenny Omega versus MJF should have happened a year ago, but the pandemic derailed all plans. It's a shame that Kenny is just going to be a sacrifice to Max's reign. But realistically, I don't know if you agree with me, that match isn't going to have a finish.
You think it's going to end dirty as hell?
It either ends in a massive clusterfuck or a time limit draw.
Well, I think the clusterfuck is more likely, and Jay White will likely be involved because he has current storyline with Max, and he got a ton of history with Kenny.
Yeah, a ton of history. And I'd also like to point out on a Jay White point, he has done such a marvelous job of basically filling in for CM Punk. Right? Because they just slotted Jay White right into where Punk was supposed to be. And instead of having the Real World's title, they just had Jay steal the Real World's title.
Yeah, they transferred over a version of what they were doing.
Because Jay White is just phenomenal at what he does.
Oh, Jay White is absolutely fantastic. He has been since, I want to say, even like 4 years ago back in Japan was whenever I really started noticing him.
He was fantastic in Ring of Honor in 2010.
And
I
one
remember
other
him
thing,
as a young lion, yes.
And one other thing that he can do, he has the ability to elevate whoever is around him. You look at the Guns, and you look at Juice, right?
Oh he's doing amazing.
Yeah, they're nowhere near what they are right now if they're not with him.
No.
Yeah. Well, look at the Guns this time last year.
The Ass Boys.
Remember?
Unfortunately,
we didn't care.
Yeah. And look at them now. 12 months, fast forward 12 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I'm on
Tony's ass a lot, but I do like what he's doing with MJF, like how he has him coming at him from all angles. We got the Jay White angle, we got the Samoa Joe angle, we have the Kenny Omega. You know what I'm saying? He's
And Wardlow.
like he's spinning, trying to stand up. Yeah, Warlow too. Like I mean, they're coming at him, and that's all I'm asking. Like you don't have to give me a full fledged WWE fucking long ass 3 month length storyline, but give me a little bit of something. You know what I mean? This is working absolutely perfect. I'm invested. The opening segment of Dynamite was fire. I mean, from the guns, costing um, Juice Robinson the match to all the promos that came to it leading up to. I mean, it was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. I also have to say, I love this whole Max getting targeted from all sides at the moment because it's by 3 people. And conveniently, how many tag team partners does Max need for next week?
3.
Yep.
Oh, shit, I didn't even think about that.
He needs 3 tag team partners. Samoa Joe's already said he'll be his tag team partner for the Ring of Honor match as long as he gets a title shot. Kenny will do anything to protect his title reign. And Wardlow just wants to kill Max and doesn't want anyone else to do it.
Yeah.
So if it's not
nice.
Joe, Wardlow, and Kenny that are his partners for the 8-man tag next week, I will be amazed.
It's going to be the Acclaimed, man.
No, it's not. It's going to be...
No, now I'm going to be disappointed if not Joe and Wardlow there.
You got KB fully invested, Nick.
Thank you.
I'm hyped for that shit. Like, now it would be sad if it's the Acclaim, and I was excited before this podcast.
think of it. It writes itself. It's not just his 3 opponents, but it's the 3 people that Max knows will keep him safe because they want the prize that he's got.
Yeah.
I actually really like that. I really like that.
I'm telling you, you got me hype over here. Like, what? Oh, yeah. Sign me up for that.
Another possibility is, too, with Wardlow.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one thing Bullet Club is missing?
A heater.
Right. So what if they want to build back up Wardlow? It's done wonders for Juice, and it's done wonders for the gun.
It'll do wonders for Wardlow because his biggest flaw is he cannot talk a lick. Like, the boy can't talk. He's great in the ring when they actually let him wrestle more than 12 seconds at a time.
He can talk, but he doesn't hold your attention, I find.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't, he doesn't fumble over his words. He's not.
Well, he's not as boring as Cesaro. Sorry, Claudio. Oh, come on.
Willie, you'd have sucked on promos like that.
We got
Remy.
Hey, Remy.
I can see you.
Yo.
What up, Rim?
You have hopped in on the MJF partner talk.
Yeah, I was just fighting my internet, so sorry about that.
Oh, you are good. Nick, fill Remy in with your headcanon.
Oh, so you've been watching AEW, Remy?
Say that again, bro.
You've been watching AEW?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so at the moment, you have Kenny Omega, Samoa Joe, and Wardlow all vying for MJF's world title.
Mm-hmm.
Well, isn't it convenient that MJF needs 3 tag partners next week, and he has 3 people all vying for his world championship?
You got Remy invested already too.
Remy even
that's just smart thinking, man.
Remy even removed the smoke from his mouth. He was like,
I'm telling you, I was hyped when he said it. Like, what?
Ooh, that's smart thinking. But my only thing is Wardlow hates MJF right now.
Yes, but Wardlow wants to do something which is hurt Max. And he knows the only real way to hurt Max is to take the world title off him. And he doesn't want anybody else to do it. So it's a question of the enemy of my enemy becomes my best friend.
Yeah.
Because for Max, it's like, this is the safest I can be, keeping closest to the people that want to kill me. And also, as David put out before, any excuse to get Kenny Omega in a ring with Jay White.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I saw something today where someone said they've noticed there's a lot of people vying for MJF. do you think they're heading for a multi-man match for the title, a la Elimination Chamber? But obviously not Elimination Chamber, but something along them lines.
Well, Tony tends to be a fan of older school booking. So I could see him doing a elimination style Texas Tornado 4-way. Basically the old ECW way of booking things where you have 4 people, but it's not first pin wins. You have it as an elimination match. Because that'd work nicely.
Let me just set this stream up to go on Twitter.
Yeah, and they would have the horses to do it too, like to put on a top tier presentation with that. So that
Joe,
that would
impeccable storyteller. Kenny, best bout machine. Wardlow, absolute killer. Max, Ric Flair, but now.
Let me point out that the other day I was just watching AEW as just like background ambiance. My fiance just paused and listened to it and was like, Samoa Joe might be the most believable wrestler I've ever heard.
My gosh. So did you
Remy and I mentioned that last night on our stream.
Yeah. We're saying
he's one of those movie villains. Yeah, like he never screams, he never hollers. Right? He's that low talking villain.
He's Christopher Walken.
No, when he screams, you fucking listen.
Well,
he's as intense in promo. Sorry, Nick. He's as intense in promo as is in the ring. He has his intensity comes through his aura.
Yeah.
When he talks, you listen.
Crafting. That's the thing. I mean, the best example I think of Quiet Joe being intimidating was his Brock Lesnar feud in WWE when he threw Paul Heyman's microphone away and then very quietly spoke to him in the corner and explained how his arm was going to go round his throat and it was going to tighten. And then you're going to slowly lose your breath and your boy is going to come out to try and save you, but it's going to be too late. And he just went on and on and on and on. It's that quiet violence that Joe possesses. It's like my brother compares him to Taz from 1997.
Yes.
Right, because Joe is very similar to Taz from 1997. He's just not as angry.
No, he is a modern day Taz, without a doubt.
He's so good. He's so good. He need to teach classes because there's so many people that's terrible at fucking promo. He needs to teach classes. He's a natural.
Well, hell, there's some people that are, really good with their promo, but the shit just doesn't translate into their in-ring work. He could totally be the guy that shows them how to do that.
Well, it's funny that you use the word natural because currently Dustin Rhodes is the one doing that backstage in AEW. And I don't think he's the right guy for the job.
I don't either.
Realistically, you want promo work in AEW? Have Eddie Kingston teach the promo classes.
I do like Dustin Rhodes being on promos, though. I do like Dustin Rhodes being there.
But does Eddie Kingston have the patience to teach a promo class? Does he have the man management skills to teach a promo class?
He doesn't have the man management skills, but I think he has the patience. As it says, he's old, he's tired, and he works with fucking children.
The thing I find with Eddie, though, is Eddie's character is essentially Eddie.
Eddie, yeah. I don't think
so. Right. It would be hard. It would be hard to impart that over to somebody else.
Well, it's not imparting the character over to somebody else. It's imparting the genuineness and the general. As Jim Ross is famous for saying, the people who really get over in professional wrestling are playing themselves with the volume turned up to 11. Like The Rock played himself with the volume turned up. Steve Austin played himself with the volume turned up. It's like these guys were just being them. Mick Foley's the best example in the world because Mick Foley played 3 versions of himself that were all the same guy at different volume levels. Cactus Jack being the loudest, Dude Love being the quietest, and Mankind being in the middle.
Mankind was depression.
Should have said Jericho. Jericho should teach your classes.
Jericho should.
I don't think Jericho. I personally think Jericho, the last maybe year, his promo skills, his promo game's gone down. Suit Jericho in WWE.
Oh my god!
And all that. But Suit Jericho was another beast, bro.
Another guy that could teach them would be Christian.
Yes.
because the
Oh,
work
Jesus
he's doing
Christ.
there is incredible.
No, you guys were talking about someone who's got patience. Yeah, let Christian teach those promo classes. I just
Oh
want
yeah.
I want a backstage video of him walking in on that class in character.
Turtleneck,
Turtleneck and just
Turtleneck.
looking
That
at
would be
each one of
dope.
them with absolute disgust.
running down each of their dead fathers and then carrying on with the class.
Listen, when Ric Flair was in that ring yesterday,
This is too
I
good.
said to Davey, I said, I pray Christian comes out because he's not gonna break kayfabe. And the second I saw that Titatron go purple, I was over the moon.
Yeah.
I was over the
It
moon.
barely left your mouth, and ODK.
Listen, it's like they heard me.
He
The gods,
delivered.
hey, KB, you don't understand. I was praying. The second I heard Ric Flair's first note, I was praying for Christian to come out. I knew he was either going to make about age, death, or his pacemaker, and this nigga did all three. I said
Yeah,
yes.
hit all
I
three.
said yes.
And his black.
He
all
did them.
three.
It was great.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man.
Father of the year,
Yeah,
that one. It's like everybody
Jesus.
says Dominic Mysterio is the best heel in wrestling. No, he's not.
No.
The best
No.
heel in wrestling is
No.
Christian Cage.
Mhm.
Dominic
Absolutely.
Mysterio has piped in booze and a turned down microphone to help him out.
You
The
don't
thing is,
let
I've seen-
Edge. Sorry, Remy, but you don't
go on.
let Edge pour his heart out for 5 to 6 minutes, pull him in for a hug, and on a TV 13 show just go fuck yourself. You don't do that.
No.
But you do if
You
you know
forgot
what
to
you're
mention
doing.
he stared at him in disgust the whole promo.
Yeah.
He was just
No.
like, whilst Edge is
Absolute
pouring his
disdain.
heart,
Never said a
Christian is
word.
like, yeah, he's like, how dare you? Like, can't believe you're speaking to me right now.
The best thing about it is the fact that Edge refers to him as Jay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't call him
Yeah.
Christian.
He's talking to
And
his friend.
He calls Adam, which is the best way of doing it. And it's the fact of, I like the fact that Edge is referenced in all of his interviews that people are saying,
Well, using the real
Andrade
names, it
gotta
makes
have
it
a
more.
word.
It makes it more
Oh
personal.
shit!
he is Rick's son-in-law.
That's exactly that
He
is a
is.
good setup right there.
He is. Come through, should.
Well, realistically, while we're here on the subject of Ric Flair, he's obviously not going to wrestle. Tony Khan can't be that stupid.
No,
But
not.
what do we see him doing in the next few months besides being Sting's corner man? Possibly managing Andrade?
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
There's not, at this stage,
I
of
don't
Rick's
see him
game,
doing it.
there's not much else he can do, really.
I
So
feel
he's there for
personally-
window dressing and essentially let Sting go out with who he came in with.
Yeah. I mean, I think we
I
should be all
mean,
grateful Rick showed
I
up
feel-
sober on Wednesday.
I feel that TK
Was
is
he?
a reactionary person. He's gonna see the backlash he's getting, and he will hold back. It's gonna be gone in a week or two. I feel like he probably did have a long-term plan for him, but as been mentioned, it was just last week he was getting on to Vince for sexual allegation, assaults, and rare tear, and then you've brought in a man that
Yeah.
the
Rick's
you
not
know,
exactly
the-
done
the
wonders for his
optics-
reputation in the
exactly.
last couple of years.
Optics
Yeah.
don't look well, especially when your head guy is the fucking main voice of the show that spoke on the
Like,
it don't.
I get why he did it. I get the connection.
No, likewise.
because of the history. But to Remy's point, that's also true, right? So both
And it's
things
within the
can be-
same month he done the whole fucking MJF angle.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean?
Your words matter, and your words will follow you. Tony's
exactly.
has.
Words mean things. I say that. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Father of the Year,
But again,
And heel.
the callback was perfect.
Swerve.
Ah.
Whose house?
House?
Swerve's
Adam's
house.
house. Wednesday.
The absolute most sinister, believable promo. There wasn't even a baby in that crib. He was just talking to a crib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The highlight of the entire thing was when he showed his merch to camera just to make sure everyone knew he had a neat T-shirt out before he
merch.
threw it in the crib.
But you know what I said?
And you do.
Say, where's the money,
Take that,
baby?
baby.
Right there.
I said,
Yeah.
that's not gonna fit that baby. That t-shirt's way too big for that baby.
I'm
That's
like,
what
he's
I
gonna
said.
smother the fucking baby with that. I'm like, what is he
I'm
doing?
like, this nigga. I'm like, don't this nigga have any kids? Don't he know how babies work? Like,
No, but that was some sinister shit, though. Basically, informing the child
Yeah.
that he is going to be indebted to Swerve forever because of the sins of his father, and that one day he's going to come and collect that debt. I can't wait for 2054 when Paige's kids all grown up and they do a promo in AEW where Swerve comes to collect. It'll be absolutely amazing.
Well, they do love.
I was thinking about that same thing. Yeah, so when he was talking, I'm like, I can't wait until the baby has his Nick Wayne moment, and then we play this old clip from whenever the
Adam
fuck,
Page,
and we see
Adam
how it
Page.
started.
Adam Page is gonna be retiring. He's gonna be like, I have a gift for you, and it's gonna be fucking Swerve. It's gonna be Swerve.
The crazy
Yeah.
thing though is we knew there was no baby in that crib, and we're all still invested. Like there's fucking triplets in there. Like he's doing amazing right now. Like amazing.
Well, if Swerve keeps on the trajectory he's going, he'll be the first African American champion in that company.
Mhm.
If he's not,
Like,
it is a huge misstep.
it's a complete
Listen,
fuck up.
if
Oh yeah.
they put that title on Swerve, AEW have just got a whole new demographic to the audience.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. I have no.
I've been following Swerve since Killshot days. And
Yeah.
when I say
Which
following,
I love the
mean
fact that he
literally-
dropped that into his promo the other week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I watched him in 205 Live. I watched him
Yeah.
in NXT. I watched him in Hit. So seeing what he's doing now, it's like he's literally just
Night
shitting
and
on
day.
every company prior. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that kill shot reference
Ah,
goes back to KB's reference,
yeah.
right? The
Lucha
little
Underground,
subtleties,
baby.
right? The little subtleties, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to watch and pay attention to these to catch
Yeah.
them, to get them, right?
But to bring up the
Absolutely.
point that I was making against it before, we are all veteran fans.
Yes.
We have all been watching the product for, in my case, and I'm pretty sure David's case, near 40 years.
1980.
For me, it
Yeah.
is
Damn.
24.
Right. And I've been watching it since 86.
Yeah.
So
I'm
we've
only
been doing this a
25, y'all.
long ass time.
So if they're going to do
and-
those little things, like kill shot, right?
They're gonna
Back
do them.
back explain it.
Exactly.
Right.
Have the commentary drop a little line. Just Excalibur's quick enough to do it. Have Excalibur drop a little line that just brings people in and goes, oh, so that's what he's referring to.
Right.
It doesn't even need to be,
Excalibur.
this is what this is. Just a little
Yeah.
hint in the right direction. That's all that's needed.
Yeah, you don't have to beat them over the head, but
No.
still,
Right.
like you said, a little 5-second explanation, done. Takes up no time to do it, right?
Even pose it as
Your
a
audience,
question, like, do you think he could be referring to A, B, C, like anything?
Yeah, there's lots of ways to do it. Yeah, but they should do it. Like if they're not going to do it before, then back end it, right? Do it that way.
Exactly.
We're in agreement on that, for sure.
Matty, sorry, did you watch? Sorry, Nick. Matty, did you? Cause Matty's quiet. Did you watch AEW, Matty?
I watched bits and pieces. What did I miss?
Did you see the main event?
I did not.
You do what?
I
Why?
don't have a chance. I don't have
Nick,
time to watch shit. I work
get
like Suge
confused
does.
every week, and he says the same thing to me every week in response. Yeah, I say the same thing to
Matty, you can find 20 minutes in your life. Even if you don't watch the rest of the show. It was Okada, dude.
Fuck that. It was Brian, bro.
I
and
heard
Cesar,
the
bro.
ending. I heard the ending from Remy and Davey. I heard that Danielson went down at the end of the match.
Brian basically sold the Rainmaker like he'd been hit with a bullet.
Okay, no, wait. Now, this is why I mentioned this. This is why
Thank you, Suge. Thank you for understanding.
We be at work.
Now because of other work. Yeah. Suge's on a different
You're at
level.
work
But yeah,
now,
1 second. What am I saying? Yeah, the reason why I brought that up is because I wanted to ask everybody separately if you thought it was Brian Danielson being Brian Danielson, or did you think it was a legit injury?
No,
I'm going to
that's
answer
Brian.
first. Ha ha ha.
Okay,
I feel. Don't worry, Nick will get used to me. I
it's
feel.
all right.
Yeah,
I never sharp.
I feel it was half and half. I feel like Brian has shown that he. I don't ask what's happened to my camera. Just bear with me. I feel Brian has shown that he's and so me personally, I wouldn't be surprised. Wow, that's the wrong camera. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a legitimate injury because with that Rainmaker, Okada didn't have his elbow pad on for one. So it does all it has to. If this bit here, this right here catches anywhere, that could be an instant knockout. Do you know what I mean?
Especially to
it
the
was
temple.
announced. It was announced after the show that Brian is fine.
Yeah, he's fine, but it doesn't mean that that injury there wasn't that could have been still been legit. We've
It could have
literally
sucked,
seen
but
Daniel
Okada.
Bryan. Wait, hear me
Yeah.
out. We've seen Daniel Bryan. This is the same guy that was facing Randy Orton, got a stinger, tried to finish the match, got the match cooled off, went to the back, and then argued with Triple H.
Do we not remember the forearm he took from Suzuki? It's almost as if Suzuki never cared about any head injury to begin with.
No.
That's what I'm
And
saying. So
realistically,
he
it's
very
the
well
same
could have
guy
been
that broke
injured,
his
but
arm
he
and then
is
wrestled
fine.
for 15 more minutes at Forbidden Door. The thing is, I believe that Brian is trying to make Okada
Blue, love my
dangerous
bro.
in the eyes of the fans.
I hear that, but if that's the case, then the way they went about the ending was wrong because Okada standing there, everyone's saying that he was mocking him. I didn't see him mocking him. I saw him. That's what I saw. I saw a shoot pissed off Cesaro or Claudio. I saw a confused Moxley outside the ring. Let's not forget that literally the same week Moxley and Cassidy had that little shove battle. Yeah, but all of a sudden Cassidy's in the ring right there, but Moxley side, bro. I feel like that ending it didn't go how it was meant to. But I've mentioned this before. TK is very, very wasn't how it was meant to go. In 2 weeks' time, you would never know that.
No, not in the slightest.
You
He's
know what
really
I'm
good at
saying?
covering up mistakes. He's very good at
100%.
covering up mistakes. But I truly believe this time that was all storytelling. I think Brian is because they're building to Brian versus Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. That much is obvious.
Yeah,
Just
that
same
was
way they're
To
doing
have a
Kenny
face-off
versus
or
Okada.
something.
that
why
was
they
the
all waited
catalyst to
around
get
the
them
ring.
there.
Exactly. That's the catalyst to get them to Wrestle Kingdom is you nearly broke my face, you broke my arm, now I'm going to break the Rainmaker.
Yeah.
The worst thing is, we would never actually know. Because they don't let these things go. Like they don't let these things out. You will never know.
No, but that's the wonderful thing about professional wrestling.
100%. 100%.
That's why we love professional wrestling.
Exactly.
No seasons, and it's the only sport where the more bullshit you get fed, the better.
Honestly.
Yeah. I have something I want Nick's thoughts on here because I've asked the other gentleman in the room.
Okay.
House of Black returned Saturday.
Yes.
They attacked.
Annihilated everybody.
They attacked, yeah, exactly. BCC, and they attacked FTR. They did not attack Big Bill and Starks. They also didn't save Ricky in the ring. But
correct.
So that's 5 people on each side. 5 on 5. What is 5 and 5?
Well, tradition, blood and guts.
Right.
I was going to say a basketball game, but you guys continue.
What does who's holding a pay-per-view in November with a 5-on-5 match in a cage already?
That'd be Survivor Series.
Right.
And guess what else there
So
is?
you think that's where they're going. House of Black, Big Bill and Starks versus FTR and the BCC.
Sign me up.
And no.
Program.
Blood and guts.
Well, I think the long-term plan for FTR, as they just trademarked rated FTR, is to team them up with Edge, Adam Copeland, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
they are close.
For CM Punk. And also, they're best friends.
Yeah, but Blood and Guts is what's the word I'm looking for? Shit show.
Not more often than not.
On a yearly basis. Like the match itself is always very entertaining. It's thoroughly fun, but the build is always a little bit chaotic. Now, I don't know whether that's been by design because they've done it the same way for 3 years now, or whether it's been a thing. But if they are going to go for a 5-on-5, Malachi Black has been itching to get into a gimmick match, which he said
Edge.
a couple of interviews.
Adam Copeland.
There's your gimmick match.
Yeah.
Brody is 100%
Brody's the best big
suited
man in the company.
for
They've got
that.
Lance.
Yeah. You know,
And Buddy will have a good time in that cage as well.
and you know the BCC are right at home in it.
Yes, they are.
And FTR would have no problem because if you've seen the dog collar match last December.
Yeah. On the subject of the BCC, and I'm going to ask Remy this because he's a countryman of mine. Don't you think it's about time they drop the Blackpool? The Blackpool is gone. There is
They should
nothing
have
to
called
do with
themselves
Blackpool.
Combat Club.
Just the Combat Club.
The Combat Club. Why not? I said it to them. I said, even if they was to call themselves I can't remember what I said the other day, but no one over here, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. Blackpool is not a bucket for wrestling.
Not anymore, mate. No, not for about 40 years. Last time Blackpool was a big deal. World of Sport was still on TV.
Exactly. Yeah, and this is my thing. Obviously, William Regal, yeah, but I feel like TK may have underestimated how big William Regal is over here. Hence why he done the whole Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
Because even us, what do they call themselves? Not the United Nations, but they're basically the UN.
United Empire.
That's the fuck. It is a countryman, so instantly we click to that. We're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Crowds up, baby.
But Blackpool Combat Club, you've just literally put them in the desert. Like no one is, and it's not even a thing where it's like, yeah, they're Americans, but they're repping us because they're not.
Yeah.
There's probably 6 people from Blackpool watching.
I imagine 90% of the AW audience don't know where Blackpool is. Like they haven't got a clue.
100%. Taz, he gets Newcastle and fucking. He tried to say that Pac was like a kinfolk. He was like, yeah, up the road from London, and I'm like,
It's like
no, Taz, no,
other
it's
end
not.
of the country. It's like there's north and south. There's a big divide here between the two.
Course.
There's a big divide between north and south in this
Combat
country.
Club. Just call yourself the Combat Club.
I had to look
The
where it
Dragon
was.
Combat Club.
Where the fuck is Blackpool at?
Blackpool is about 3 miles from my house.
Where
That's
is
an
it?
understatement. That's an understatement.
I had to look it up
It's
too.
about 20 miles from my house.
Like I had
Where
a
do you
breakout that thing that AJ Styles doesn't have, the globe. Go look.
Hey, AJ doesn't believe the earth is flat. He's just not smart enough to argue with the people that do.
Hey. AJ didn't believe the Earth's flat. He's just saying there's some things that make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's his words verbatim. Yeah? Cool.
I'm just saying.
That might be
just
one
saying.
of my favorite thing I've
Things like
ever heard him say in an interview.
Yeah,
And
brilliant.
he's
We had a
genuinely
very
a funny
interesting
person as well.
thing. Very interesting thing took place on Tuesday. Lyra Valkyria, sticking with your neck of the woods, is the new NXT champion.
Yes, she is.
With
Yeah.
Nick's neck
I
of the
heard
woods,
Becky put
isn't
on a
she
show.
Irish?
I didn't watch that,
I'm a
man.
bit Irish.
Match was quite
I'm not
good.
big on Lyra Valkyria. I don't get it. And I don't think Becky's a great in-ring wrestler. I think she's a better character. So when I see her main eventing against someone that I don't really care for, I instantly zone out.
Here's the thing, though. Becky Lynch does something better than any other female in the WWE.
She sells.
She elevates people.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Becky Lynch.
Oh, no,
you
yeah.
can give
A
her a
million
mop.
percent.
You can give her a mop, and by the end of that match, people will be cheering that mop.
She
praises.
made Indy Hartwell look great the other day.
Which is
She
virtually
did.
impossible.
Yeah,
Which
that is a
is
task and a half.
She
It's been an impossibility
Her
for
and Indy
every other
work.
female wrestler on the roster to do that. And
But-
yet she made it.
Nah, I tweeted
So
I
what-
tweeted the
what-
other day that I absolutely appreciate what she's doing with the young guns of the women's division. just casting that spotlight, showing like the future's gonna be all right. We got some dogs in here. Let me go. Like she had a very short but effective and entertaining run as NXT champ.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think they ended it to the wrong person, though.
I
Lyra.
agree.
Lyra
I
is
agree.
talented, but that belt
Should
should have been won on
be.
Jade Cargill's first night
Justice,
in her first match.
justice for Zion, justice for Zion.
Poor Zia Lee. Oh man, for real, justice for Zion, man. Justice
Poor
for
girl
Zion.
needs to go back to China
Yeah.
because she's never going to get any justice
Yeah.
in WWE.
Now,
Bro,
to Nick's point,
Man, terrible.
Those
to Nick's
don't
point
do
there
well.
with Jade. Jade will get that belt. That's a foregone conclusion.
Is Jade? But
Whenever- But
is Jade going on NXT?
I would say so.
I don't think she's going on NXT, but Becky has proved
I
you
don't
don't need to be on NXT to win the NXT championship.
Yeah, Jade's gonna win all the belts eventually.
If Jade is on NXT, NXT is going to get a ton of eyeballs, which it should.
100%,
More
but
eyeballs
also
on it,
Jade
people are going to
versus-
start seeing
True.
how good that show is. It's a win.
Bro,
They damn sure gonna get my eyeballs.
So Nick, that's
Question,
what I was
guys,
about.
while we're on the subject of Jade, to
Yeah,
all
go
of you. Best opponent for Jade Cargill, not named Charlotte Flair or Bianca Belair.
Candice LeRae.
Lyra Valkyria, I do not give a fuck about that match, bro. If you're bringing Jade in to go for the title when Lyra's a champion, I personally have already zoned out, and I didn't know I could do that on Jade Cargill. That's really upsetting. So, and who's in NXT? Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez, mate.
It doesn't have to be an NXT member. It can be anyone on the roster.
Well, I
Okay,
think-
hear me out. Nia Jax.
No,
Maybe
I'm
I'll
with
think
you
so.
for that.
Maybe
For the
I'll
Hogan
think
Andre
so.
moment
Hey.
when she slams Nia.
I mean, I don't want her against somebody that we know she can pummel. You know what I mean? I need her against somebody that can go against her ripped frame and what she's like the championship aura she already has glowing around her ass. So I'm thinking Nia, maybe Raquel,
Fuck that.
but I'm going Nia.
There's one answer as far as I'm concerned, but I want to see if either of you two gentlemen get it.
I said Candice LeRae just because of what she did for Bianca.
Yeah, very good. Dave?
Yeah. Candice would be my pick too, because you
Right.
want her in there with somebody who's going to make her look good.
Three
Candice
words.
will do that.
3 words. Rhea Bloody Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about it.
Save that for Mania. Save that for Mania.
No. Because it's going to be Charlotte at Mania.
Is
And
it?
Charlotte,
Because
Charlotte is the
I
litmus
feel like it
test
will be
for
Belair,
Jade
bro.
Cargill.
It's-
She's
Bro,
the
it will
litmus
be
test for
Belair.
Jade Cargill. She is the white Jade Cargill. They're the same height. They're the same build. They've got the same physique. If
Jade
Jade
got-
cannot have a banging match with Charlotte, then she can't have a banging match with anybody. Realistically, Jade's last match in AEW was her best match in AEW,
Mhm.
which is a good sign because it means she's improving as time goes on.
Yeah.
If it is Flair, it can't be for the belt though.
No.
No.
You can't start
No.
Jade out at the top.
No.
If you
no.
do,
No.
it's
This is why
only
I'm
one way
saying-
to go.
Yeah.
But
Well,
then
you
let's
either
think back,
Goldberger
because
for
Nick-
another 2 years and everyone gets bored.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but Nick, this is why I said if you don't believe she's going to NXT, right? You think her first rivalry will be within NXT, and there's not a big list in that company, in that brand. Sorry,
No, unfortunately.
Her first rivalry in NXT, I think, should be Roxanne Perez.
that's what I
Roxy's
said.
Great.
That's what I
don't
said.
wanna-
T will never shut up during that gimmick.
Yeah, but that's
Booker T
tricky,
will
though.
fucking have
don't
all.
wanna-
He'll have that. You'd have to get
You
him
don't
off the
wanna
fucking
feed-
commentary.
one of your young, talented women wrestlers to her. Like you don't want to propel Jade forward, only to propel someone else backwards.
Yep, that's the difficult part.
That's the tricky part there.
But
So to
it-
Remy's point, there's not a lot of people in
Should've been
NXT that
Jade.
fit the bill that could get in there and eat the loss and really not have it affect them.
which is why I tend to agree with Remy that she's going straight to the main roster. Realistically, Jade Cargill has apparently been signed for more money than any female on the roster.
Well, that's not
Now,
surprising because
you
she's an
don't throw
entity
that
outside
much.
the business.
Yeah, you don't throw that much cash at somebody and then put them in developmental.
Good point.
You don't.
Yep.
You put them on the main
No,
roster.
I never
That's why
thought
I
she
say
was going to NXT.
no. Charlotte's
Me
the litmus
neither.
test. I think Charlotte is the litmus test to see if she can make it in the big time.
And another reason why I
And
can see the Charlotte thing going by what Nick's saying is, don't forget, Charlotte Flair, she has like an unwritten rule in her contract that she always, if she's not going for the title, she has to be at the top of the card.
Yeah.
So if you're not going for a title, what right now would be the next big thing, Jade Cargill?
I hadn't noticed that.
Oh yeah, no, it's it's very, very subtle. It's very subtle.
Yeah. It's virtually
Read the fine print, Davey.
She's been there for like I think just under 10 years, and she still hasn't beaten her father's record. So they've not strapped a rocket to her yet.
I'm 53, and I was a teenager the last time Charlotte wasn't in either a main program or a title program.
And technically, she's never going to beat Rick's record because Rick's record is actually 21 belts, not 16.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, 5 of them aren't recognized.
Technically, it's Cena's record that she hasn't broke.
Okay, but Charlotte Flair won her first title when my grandma was in college.
Charlotte Flair won her first title.
So I don't know.
She came out of the
She
womb.
came out and just handed her the belt.
Yeah.
She didn't have an umbilical cord. She had a title belt.
They had to cut the title belt from.
That was her first championship.
For real.
Matty, what's going on, bro? You real quiet, Maggie. You think I'm going to leave you to be quiet?
Oh no, I'm just looking at my parlay going on right now.
Matty is soaking in the greatness.
I got 2 £5 bets here, 2 free £5 bets here. I put them on horses, on doubles. Why did both the first horses win and the second fucking come 5th?
Because parlays never hit like that. It's always got to be one thing that doesn't hit.
I was going to say because he was slower.
But right now, I'm looking at one thing that probably isn't going to hit.
Yeah, don't look at it. It makes it worse, bro.
You just gotta leave it. Is a parlay an accumulator?
Yes,
basically, yeah.
Sound.
We call them hackers.
We have sticking with WWE here. We had an interesting match set for the as Alex from Fightful would say, sands of time.
You really love this sands of time.
Damian Priest.
I've been calling it for a few years.
He's not letting it go.
As I affectionately refer to him as, Pastor Corey will be fighting. Do you think the briefcase comes into play with this?
I don't think the briefcase is put on the line or anything like that. But I do think Priest cashes in Saudi Arabia. I think he loses to Cody. I think he is really pissed off about this fact, and I think Rhea convinces him that tonight is the night. Because as we all know, Rhea's in charge of the Judgment Day. Those boys don't piss unless she tells them it's okay.
Yeah, and she has been in charge of that for a fair amount of time now.
Mm-hmm. To the point that they even had Cody come out and point it out on Raw.
What question?
Oh yeah, that was a good dig.
But is Drew versing Seth at Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Yes.
So then do you reckon that Drew's going to lose? Because I don't.
No, Drew's taking the belt. Seth's back.
Drew's losing it and then dropping it to Priest?
He's not dropping it.
No. That's just it. I think he is. The whole point of Drew is Drew's character is a tweener now. He's not a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He just doesn't give a fuck about anybody else anymore because he's tired of it costing him trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now watch this. I feel like that's what's going to come into play. I feel like Seth is going to win. Drew's going to lose his fucking shit. Batter Seth after the match. Crowd boos. Then Damien comes out. Drew doesn't give a shit. Walks to the back. Damien cashes in.
I agree with everything except Drew beating the crap out of him after the match. It doesn't fit his character. Drew's character would just walk away. He'd walk away in a huff, but he'd walk away, and then he'd walk straight past Priest as Priest was coming up the ramp with the briefcase. and he wouldn't do a damn thing.
But he's a tweener, and he has been a heel before. So that could be the thing that sends him over.
Yeah, but he's a solid tweener now. His character's the anti-hero.
Yeah.
He's Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
So he doesn't have to go full on heel.
Exactly.
Right. Another scenario that would be a possibility for this Priest Pastor Corey match. If the briefcase is up for grabs, Priest loses it, starts sowing those seeds of doubt within the Judgment Day a little bit more on his inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Cody now has a briefcase, which gives him a clear path to Roman.
Oh, wait a minute. I just thought of something. Priest isn't going to cash in. Right. Everybody knows the plan for WrestleMania 40's Cody Roman 2, yeah?
Yes.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen at Mania, because I've got a feeling it's going to be The Rock versus Roman this year at Mania, as long as The Rock's schedule is still free, which means Cody needs to win the title at the Rumble, which means it's Cody Gunther at WrestleMania, because Gunther's going to win the Rumble this year. This is just me.
Cody Gunther at Mania for what? The world title?
For the world title. Cody squeezes past Gunther, and I mean squeezes past Gunther, and then Damian Priest repeats the heights of the century.
Oh, damn. Like, that's going to catch a lot of fucking heat.
I think
fans are going to hate that shit.
WWE have been dying to create the next big Latin American star after Rey Mysterio. It's Damian Priest.
What? Damian?
Damian Priest is the next big Latin American star in that company.
At 42 years old?
Yeah, at 42 years old. Because he is
basically
the Undertaker.
Bobby Lashley held the flag for us, my bro, at 46, 48. Yeah, and it made sense. Even Kofi, my guy.
LA Knight's 42.
Listen, Kofi
LA
Kingston,
Knight's
my bro.
42.
Yeah? Kofi Kingston pretended to be something that I am truthfully. Yeah, and when that won the title, brother, I was as Ghanaian as anybody. When Kofi won that title, bro, call me Remy Kingston, but in the Ghanaian way that Kofi uses it. You know what I want? Listen, Big E, oh my gosh. KB, tell me you weren't gassed when Kofi, Big E, or Bobby won the world title.
I was ecstatic for all three. But Kofi was the most. Like, I was like, I didn't, because we didn't see that coming. Like, it wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be Mustafa Ali in the match. And then all of a sudden, like, he just comes in. I mean, and then everybody gets behind him. Like, the Kofi Mania was unforgettable. Like, it's number one of the three that you named.
Sorry, because you mentioned Ali. Can I ask you something? Wait on, Davey.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, on the Kofi, the moment was off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
Getting there was on.
Yeah.
What happened afterwards was not off the charts. And the ending was
unlucky for Ali as well.
WWE, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible, can't book a black champion correctly.
No.
They did okay with Bobby Lashley.
They're great. Yeah, but that's because Bobby's Bobby, man. Bobby Lashley has the advantage of knowing exactly who he is and exactly what he wants to do. And the company has always presented him in such a way.
Guys,
he's the black Brock Lesnar.
Hold on. You just brought him up. Hasn't Brock Lesnar been the one to beat all three of them?
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha male of the
every black wrestler and The Rock. Don't forget The Rock. He beat The Rock too.
Yeah.
Wait, I saw a TikTok that said I saw a TikTok. This guy's holding like a mock belt, and then he's black guy. He's like, he put the belt over his shoulder, and the caption was, "Anytime WWE gets a black champion." So he's celebrating for like 2 seconds, and then Brock Lesnar music comes on, and he just almost shit his pants and shit. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. I was like, "Oh man, that was bad. It was bad."
Sorry, Nick, hear this from me.
But even before Brock, the booking is just trash.
But Brock's gone now.
No return plans for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
Brock's gone now, isn't it?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna see him in Tampa, aren't I, guys?
Well, Endeavor really
Yeah.
want Brock to fight again. Like
I'm
I
going
could
to
do
see
without
him
a
in
Brock.
Tampa, aren't I?
Endeavor are screaming to get Brock back in the octagon, and they're willing to pay him more money than any UFC fighter has ever received for a single fight.
And now they can.
Yeah, because they can afford it. They've got WWE
Mhm.
billions of dollars forged into the company.
Also, they only pay the fucking roster 16. That's another one they can if they wanted to. But listen, you mentioned Mustafa Ali, yeah? And as a running gag, I've been saying it's him under the devil mask for MJF and that, yeah? Who do you think is going to be under that mask? So,
Kyle O'Reilly.
Davey said card played and yeah. So you see, we have no fucking idea right now.
No.
Kyle O'Reilly.
No, I don't think Kyle's cleared.
He will be in about a month and a half.
And that guy in that mask was very slender.
So is Kyle.
Like he didn't.
Well,
exactly,
let's face
he
it.
didn't have
Let's
the
face
MJF
it. The original person in that mask was Adam Cole.
I think it's still Adam Cole.
Adam's out for 9 months, mate.
No, Adam, I told you.
Damn.
I
He's never-
told you all the second it happened that injury was real
Mm-hmm.
and fucking I jumped off the stage. My hands went straight to my phone in the inbox when I said, Adam Cole has just injured himself. He just jumped
Yeah.
off the stage and now he hasn't gotten up. Oh, wait, he's now limping over to the ring. Like, I knew
Yeah.
instantly, and it was stupid because he decided to do a 5-star frog splash and land on his feet off to Ape for no reason. For no reason. That's a legitimate injury. That's not a
Shattered his ankle in 3 places.
himself. Yeah,
Needs two
that's
surgeries.
legit.
Needs 2 surgeries and 21 screws.
That is
I'm hurting
legit.
for baby, man. I'm hurting for him.
No, man, I'm not. That was stupid, bro.
But
That was as stupid as Ray Phoenix doing anything.
Adam was
Damn,
clearly
bro.
the guy in the devil's mask. That was the original plan because
Mhm.
he's protecting Max. However, he's not doing that now. Now, it can't be Roddy because Roddy would also fit the build of the guy, but Roddy is also injured, or at least playing an injured man. Because I think the long-term story was going to be that Adam would reform the kingdom with Roderick Strong, Matt fucking Taven, and Mike Bennett.
I forgot you have a fucking hatred for Taven.
Matt Taven is an oxygenarian. He is wasting oxygen that could be used on a better human being. He should die and do the entire world a favor.
Matt Taven might as well be from France.
Yes.
What? Wait, guys, please. You have to inform me. I don't know that. Is he the one before Ring of Honor went out of business that they made the champion for a bit and tried
Yes.
to make the guy?
Yes.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
I stopped watching Ring of Honor the second that happened.
Yeah,
So I
because he
don't really
sucks.
know nothing about Matt Tate. Yeah, he's fucking dog doo-doo. But
Awful. He's awful.
as a person,
He's a-
I don't know nothing about
He's a
him.
horrible
Like,
human being. He's an absolute scumbag and
Bumble
deserves to die.
said dog doo.
no, he's dog
I,
doo-doo.
I would rather rip my eyes out and grate them with a cheese grater than watch a Matt Taven match.
And to be
This is
fair,
how I feel whenever Ray Phoenix does a 630 senton and then he breaks his neck. Or if he
Phoenix
fucking
is
does
funny.
Hey, he's
toe
up
piercing
on Ray
mosquito
Phoenix,
onto
man.
someone
He's up on
and
Ray
then he
Phoenix.
breaks his neck. Or if
Oh.
Ray Phoenix does his fucking finisher to someone and nearly breaks
And
his
nearly
neck.
breaks his
Or
neck.
if the
When he
ramp
does
on-
an arm
on
drag to the outside and then dislocates
Oh.
his entire arm.
his whole fucking
Rimmy's got a
arm.
legal pad of
That was
scenarios
hideous.
for Ray Phoenix right now.
Well, it's funny because the
What?
one thing I'll always remember about Ray Phoenix was him drooling a lot in Lucha Underground. Like, he used to drool when he was Dark Phoenix in Lucha Underground. I don't know where they
Oh
kept
my
the water or where it
God.
came from.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
pouring
yeah,
out his mouth
yeah.
all the time. It's like that random question about Lucha Underground. Do you remember Drago?
yes.
Mhm, mhm.
Where did the
I was
tongue
just thinking
go?
of him.
Where does the tongue go? He's got this big, massive tongue that comes
Well,
out of his
Phoenix, I
mouth
was
on his
thinking of
entrance. Yeah, it's just gone
He just
when he
throws
does
it
his
away.
match. Well, you never see him take it out of his mouth. I think he eats it. I think it's made of jelly
Yeah,
and he eats it.
I think it's
Could
like sweet.
Yeah.
Fucking fake tongue. Well, obviously it's a fake tongue, but it's like it's cake.
Thank
It's
God.
cake.
Yeah, if
It's cake.
if it was gelatin, you just suck it back in and
No, it's
down
cake.
down
It's cake.
that. Or cake. Cake works too.
Question for you guys:
Possible answer.
Has the bloodline jumped the shark?
Very much so.
I feel like if Roman was more active, then no. I personally like what Jimmy Uso is doing right now. I'm very
Jimmy's
much
better
fan
than
of-
Jay at the moment.
Character-wise, Jimmy.
Yeah.
But the second Jimmy cannot carry a match. I don't know
It's 'cause
if
he's
it's
the hot
because
tag guy.
his moveset, exactly, and his moveset solely relies on being a tag team partner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He
So-
is. Well, it's that old adage that when tag teams split up, only one of them is ever successful.
But this is my thing. I think Jimmy's character work can make him avoid that. Christian isn't an amazing in-ring worker, but Christian is a really good worker.
No, you take that back right now, sir.
Are you gonna tell me
Christian Cage is
can
the
put
most
on 5-star
underrated
classic?
wrestler ever. Christian Cage
Yeah,
is the most
but that doesn't mean
underrated wrestler.
that doesn't mean he's one of the
ever.
best in the world.
No. He's not one of the best at making himself look good. He's one of the best at making other people look good. And that is a talent that not enough people have in professional wrestling. Lots of wrestlers are really good at making themselves look good and showing off, but they are not good at what Sting is good at and was good at, should I say, and what Ric Flair was good at and what Arn Anderson was good at. And to a certain extent, I can't believe I'm going to say this. No, Ray Phoenix is terrible. He just hurts people. He's like, he's a male version of Nia Jax.
I'm always going to get a shit out of that. I'm sorry.
He's just a
He's a male version of who?
Nia Jax. Not in their wrestling style, in their safety.
You don't tolerate Nia Jax slander in this here podcast.
No.
What are you talking about, Remy?
You could have stopped with "We don't tolerate Nia Jax." You could have left off.
Oh, come on, Davey, man,
Right.
chill
I
out.
would like to say, in Nia's defense,
Put you on each
Seth
other's
Rollins
shoulders
broke John Cena's
and
nose.
suplex
Seth
you
Rollins
both
broke
at once.
Sting's neck. And nobody
Exactly.
says boo about Seth Rollins.
All right, then. I
He
appreciate
ended
that.
Sting's career the first time. He put John
I've
Cena
not
on
seen
the
one
shelf in his
person talk
first
shit
match.
about Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, and he nearly
And
broke
it's you,
John Moxley.
Remy.
Well, he nearly broke John Moxley the other week.
Literally, not even his neck. He just nearly broke him.
Broke him. Right? It's like Moxley can't get up. That's never happened before.
That's not happened before.
Bro, my man just fell on glass the other day, and spikes, and then a man called Ray Phoenix came and put that man down, bro.
Mm-hmm. Like with
Nia Jax catch all the strays,
tombstone ever.
but Ridge Holland just go undetected.
One little
right.
Ridge
topic we
Difference is
haven't touched yet.
Ridge has only injured 2 people, and both of those people have admitted it was their fault. Wrestling is a two-way
What?
street.
Yeah,
Wrestling
Ridge
is a
was
Big E
two-way
said it was
street.
his fault.
Yeah, Big E blames himself because he under-rotated on the suplex.
Yeah, he didn't
Ridge was
jump
involved in both incidences, but he wasn't solely responsible for them.
And Elton
Mm.
Prince.
Well, then neither was Nia.
Elton Prince
Yeah,
busted his own
boom.
shoulder.
Leave her with apart. Nia Jax, yeah, her. All right, so she punched Becky in the face. That one there, I don't know. That's fucking crazy. There's no excuse for that. Yeah. The shoulder breaker she gave to Charlotte Flair the time she
Hello.
bucked her on the head. That was absolutely mental. So once again,
Then there was the time she picked up Kairi Sane and launched her into the steps like a lawn dart.
okay, so no.
She
Kairi
did
Sane
not even
she
pick
tripped
up
over.
Kyrie.
Kairi Sane tripped. Wait. Kairi Sane tripped. If Nia
And
Jax
Nia
wanted to-
threw
Whoa,
her.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Right.
Whoa.
Tripped. Nia
Whoa,
then
whoa,
picked
whoa.
her up off the ground and lawn darted her into the steps head first.
Kyrie
No,
may have tripped,
never.
but Nia full force threw her into the steps.
If
They
Nia
could have
threw-
renamed Kairi Sane at that point Javelin, because that's essentially what she was.
Yeah.
Kairi Sane weighs 22 pounds. Sorry, that's like no, yeah, you don't know fucking pounds. Yeah, Kairi Sane weighs 22 pounds, my brother. Yeah. let's not ignore that.
Yes, they did, Mr.
Let's not
Wonderful.
ignore
No,
that.
we're not
Let's
going
not
to
act like we don't see Rio.
Darby
hit
Allin.
springboard.
Darby Allin.
Wait, this
is
isn't body
7.5
shaming. No, hear me
stone.
out. Wait, hear me out. Let's not act like we don't see Rio hit springboard drop kicks onto people and bounce off them.
Okay, this is true. This is true. Right.
Yeah.
But
All right, then.
Rio weighs
So-
as much as a postage stamp.
As did fucking who's that? Stevie Richards did a great breakdown of how shite Naya is on his.
Yes, he
Yo,
did.
Hanson, what's
Yes,
going on, my
he
bro?
did.
Thank you. One
That is
second.
great.
Thank you for
There you
coming
go.
through. This is one of my viewers. He said he was meaning to come through on one of our streams. Still,
Oh fuck yeah!
my bro, I'm giving you a 200-second timeout on Twitch. Yeah, we do not tolerate Naya.
No slander. No slander.
And we
Don't
have
let me
not
call.
yet,
Thank you
Don't
for
let me
coming.
call the
Hey,
racism
here's a
card.
fucking timeout.
and we have not yet talked.
Yeah?
He's Samoan. You don't get to pull the racism card.
Wakanda.
My boy is on tonight. He going down with the ship on this Nia Jackson.
I'm out here. I'm ready. She's not swiftly.
We had the debut of the century on Tuesday too. The king
Oh,
of
fuck
kings.
off.
Oh
Lexis
man, get the fuck.
I was
What's
gonna
everybody
get my
spotted
get my hair all
on our
lined up.
first
I'm assuming we're talking about Brian Pillman Jr.
We are.
Yeah, sorry, Lexis
Hey,
King.
no.
Yes.
Yeah, Lexis
Yes.
King.
The
It's
king.
not about
It's a
his
great
dad
name.
no more.
Have you acknowledged your
Named
king
after, well,
today?
he's named after his sister and his mother. That's where the
That's
name comes
lovely.
from. Lexus is his sister's name. King is his mother's maiden name.
I can
And the
understand
reason he
that.
chose
but
the name, and it's a fair point, is he only knew Brian Pillman up until the age of 3. Then Brian died just before his 4th birthday.
I
So
can understand that, Nick. But, did it have to sound like a porn star's name?
And Bron Breakker doesn't.
I'll give him a pass because that man is currently going through a
I have a
transition from
question.
white into another melanin level. So
Orange.
He is tan, like man.
that man
Or
lays
crazy.
on bed. That man
He
lays
looks
on
like a
bed
can of
sheets and they
Fanta.
are stained forever.
Orange Breaker and Orange Cassidy is a future dream match.
Speaking of Orange Cassidy, just a quick segue. Does anyone else think it was pointless that they took the international title off him?
Yes.
Yeah. Why?
No, I don't. Moxley didn't get to do his title run. Don't forget, it wasn't like
Ray
Moxley was,
Phoenix.
yeah, exactly. It wasn't like Moxley was meant to lose a title to Phoenix. This is what people keep ignoring. Moxley was clearly about to do the international title fucking open challenge each week thing. That was going to be his time to do it. And what that would have done is it would have ensured that a top name like John fucking Moxley is going to be wrestling bangers every week, sometimes possibly 2-3 times a week.
Also, it would have been a really good introduction to Sammy Callahan.
Exactly. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why Orange Cassidy lost the title. And also what that would have done, it would have given OC time to fucking chill out a bit because he is fucking 40 years old.
And he's
Do you know
banged
what I mean?
the fuck up.
Exactly. But no, we have a man in a mask that likes to hurt people and himself for fun.
For fun.
For fun.
Even if it's accidental fun.
I'm going to give you a spinning pile driver on the floor, roll you in the ring, but then I'm going to do a spinal tap for no reason.
That go to something Nick said earlier in the broadcast here, where Tony is good at covering, right? So they had a cover for that. Mox getting hurt and the belt getting put on Phoenix. Yes, Remy, we know you hate Phoenix.
I do.
So Orange gets the title back, but this is a different Orange
It is.
than what was on the first run.
Mm-hmm. I'll
This
give you
is-
that.
I just hope he keeps up the
There's a lot more
desperate
pardon
shit
the
that he was
pun.
doing the last end of his run.
There's a lot more edge to this run.
Well, I think the plan originally was for a Hook Orange Cassidy feud. And it was to get Hook over. Because the one thing that they haven't done with Taz's son, which is criminal, is give him something to sink his teeth into.
He's had a
Me
couple
and
matches,
Davey
but
were saying
nothing.
We were saying
yeah,
that
no
last night.
rivalries, no proper rivalries. We had this exact
Come
convo.
here, you. Somebody's come to say hi.
Oh, Mr. Bigglesworth.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Ah, kill it! No, I'm joking.
Oh, you got it.
He's a good boy.
Remy just had a Brendan Fraser mummy moment.
He's a good boy.
No, I was gonna scream kill it, but I
I
was
love the-
joking.
Hey, don't be.
I
Hey,
got-
I will.
I
We're
love-
in the same country, sir. I will find you.
You'll see my cat outside as well. You'll be like, oh, he has one too.
Oh,
But this is going to circle back to Orange and Mox again, because they had that interaction last Saturday on the
Yeah.
ramp,
Yeah.
because they positioned the BCC in the ring to end Collision, and Orange was the first match coming out for Battle of the Belts.
and if we really paid attention to the end of Dynamite this week, you will notice that John Moxley was not stood around looking confused on the outside of the ring. John Moxley was stood around eyeballing Orange Cassidy and looking absolutely incensed and furious that he wasn't allowed to go near him.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree.
Please disagree. This is your show. You're allowed.
No,
Such a polite
I-
guest.
No, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like, again, like I said, TK is very good at mixing offshoot moments or things that weren't planned in weaving it into storyline perfectly. So even if it wasn't planned, it's gonna be planned now. It was planned. You see, like what WWE tried to do with Daniel Bryan's wrestling moment. TK does that properly, but he does it in legitimate situations. Do you see what I'm saying?
One thing TK does that really annoys me, minor gripe, is he keeps paying for entrance music, which I love. Like, for example, Rob Van Dam has Pantera back,
Yes.
Mhm.
right? Do you know how much he's paying for Pantera Walk?
A ridiculous amount.
$120,000 every time it's played.
Yeah,
You
he
know
said
how
whenever.
much Europe-
got carry on.
Do you know how much Europe wanted for the final countdown?
He only
No,
got
they were
that
charging
song
a
for
lot.
a couple. What? It was like 4 or 6 plays, and that was it.
Yeah, at 70 grand a play.
A lot of quarters in the jukebox.
Now, if we'd like to do the maths, he has played Rob Van Dam's tune 7 times. That is $860,000.
Yeah. Fuck.
Matt, just for Rob Van Dam's special appearances. However, he's only used the final countdown 3 times.
But he
less
said
than
the
half
final
the price.
countdown costed more than the contracts.
That was a lie. Because Europe, which is the band that owns the final countdown and their record label, already released how much money they're getting.
Okay.
Oh shit. Okay.
Tony's a good bullshit artist. As
Oh,
my
yeah, of
friend
course.
would put it, the difference between Tony Khan and Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon is an upfront cunt. Tony Khan is a backstage cunt.
Now, Nick, since you did bring that up, you were at All In, were you not?
I was.
What was the feeling like that in person?
Incredible. Like,
Good question.
I will say that compared to WrestleMania, which I went to in April, the spectacle was not there. Like when you landed in LA, you got off the plane, there were posters on everything for WrestleMania. And I mean, it was everywhere. You go to London for All In, and there is one poster outside Wembley. That's it. No
And what they
advertising,
say-
no bus.
Davey,
Right? No
Okay.
advertising, no bus, no spectacle. The
Yeah,
ring
no-
was 1/3 smaller than it usually is because he couldn't bring his own ring with him, so he had to use a local British one. Instead of putting the ring in the middle of the pitch, he tried to copy SummerSlam 92, 93. Was it 92 or 93, Dave, when Bulldog beat Brett?
I believe it was 92. Right?
92.
92, thank you. I always get those two confused, the Rumble and that confused in those years. But he tried to copy SummerSlam 92's layout as much as possible. with the way the arena was laid out, but what he didn't take into account was it's not the same Wembley Stadium. It's a brand new building. The other one was
we
knocked
renovate
down.
our shit often.
Yeah, we just knock them down and then build new ones. And this is a brand new stadium. So he didn't take that into account. So the ring was quite far away from half the audience. The big screen was about the size of a laptop.
Oh.
Like that's how it looked from where y'all were.
No, to see the actual big screen, the big screen, you had to turn around and do this because
Because you saw that in the crowd.
Yeah, it was up
you saw
behind
that
us.
in the crowd.
However, I will say, as anyone who knows me knows, the reason I'm a wrestling fan is because of Sting. The very first match I ever watched was Sting. He is the reason I am a fan. And I cried when Metallica played.
Oh, listen,
Sting
wait.
Come out to kill them all.
Wait. Please pause exactly what you're saying right there. And then, guys, I don't know if you remember, because we were streaming it, When I heard Sting's old school entrance, did you not remember going nuts? And I was like, guys, wait. I said, wait. This is WCW right before it shot Sting. Do. I said, oh yeah, I lost my shit. And and I went on Twitter and no one was clocking it. And I was like, no, because as I said to you before, Nick, I was a WCW head through and through.
Was I?
You see what
TNT, we got it on Saturday mornings.
And Cartoon Network initially, 9 p.m. TNT comes on. Yeah. So that, and then WCW will come on straight after.
It was amazing. But the feeling when Sting's music hit, was just incredible. I lost my shit for Will Ospreay's entrance.
Like him having elevated in front of that whole stadium,
especially considering we all sang it because everyone knows the lyrics to Enter Shikari over here. MJF's entrance, like you guys don't sing along to MJF's song, we do.
Yeah. Oh, you guys. Okay, I thought you guys like had lyrics to it.
No.
If you watch soccer, well, you don't call it soccer. If you watch football over here, like you will hear shit like that's all you hear throughout the games. Like half our songs are made up with noises.
It's either insults or random noises.
Yeah,
that's it. Camera's gone again, Remy.
Remy.
Yeah, I'm here. Fucking USB camera.
I got you.
Damn it! Now fucking songs in my head.
The call outs to the history of the industry. I do like that he. Of course, I'm old, so like these call outs that he does. It's like okay, you respect what went on before you, and I like that.
I will say about All In, there was one really confusing set of entrances. Three confusing things. One, the Young Bucks were dressed like Freddie Mercury from Live Aid.
Yes.
If nobody else caught that. Yet, it was Soraya that came out to We Will Rock You.
Yes.
And yet, even though Soraya is English and Tony Storm is Australian, it was Tony Storm that came out to God Save the Queen.
Yes. But this is what I was saying to David the other day. I feel like a lot of people assume Tony is English
because she came up here.
Because there you go. Her accent will confuse you. Like Tony, she has an English demeanor about her as well, an upper class English demeanor about her.
Well, Tony, she spent the first 10 years of her career on the British indie scene. I've met Tony Storm 3 times. She is a lovely girl. She is one of the nicest people in the world. Juice Robinson is a lucky guy.
So it's not the fact that she's from there, but she is heavily associated.
Yeah, she's very associated.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Time out. Juice Robinson is a lucky guy.
Yeah,
am I missing?
Juice Robinson and Tony Storm are a couple.
What?
Yeah, they've been engaged for like 3 years.
Why do you think he's rock hard?
This shit flew right the fuck over my head.
If there should never be.
That's why, as Matty just pointed out, that's why he's rock hard. Juice Robinson. He's with Tony Storm.
If AEW ever does one of those home shows like Ms. and Mrs., do those two.
Yeah. Dead
I
or
mean,
cold.
because that's never a dull moment in that. What?
Oops, I
And
did
I'm
that
just
too.
finding out about Mello and what is her name? She just won the breakout tournament on NXT.
Her name is not Kiki Palmer, but you know what
Or
I'm
well, not
talking
won
about.
it, not won it, but she moved to the next round.
Was that the
Light
Kalani
skin,
Jordan
black girl,
or
curly. Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's the
think
one,
that's her.
Kalani
Yeah,
Jordan.
her and Mello are a couple now.
okay?
And I
Guys,
know
my
Sky
bedroom.
Blue is now engaged to Kyle Fletcher of Aussie Open.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they've been
Yeah,
dating. Yeah, they've been together for a fair bit now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we
Poor
have a
Dante
question.
Martin.
We have
Broke
a
his
Hey,
legs
question.
and
wasn't
danced on
Sky
jumps
Blue
on Kyle
with
Fletcher.
Dante Martin?
Yeah, until he broke his leg last year, and then she dumped him and went with Kyle
Oh,
Fletcher.
fuck. Damn.
Boy couldn't perform, so she just cast him to one side.
That's crazy.
Yo, we have a question. My boy said, why was Osprey positioned as a heel when he was clearly going to be cheered in London? Thank you for that, Matty.
The reason Will was positioned as a heel is because Will has never played a babyface in the UK. If
He
you
did in
watch
progress
Will,
for a little bit.
no, he wasn't a babyface. He was an
He was
Essex
he was
twat. People were just cheering him.
yeah, good point.
Right? Just because
He's
somebody
relatable,
cheers
bro.
you doesn't make you a good guy.
He's relatable. That's what it is.
No,
For us, anyway, he's relatable
Yeah.
as shit.
And he
very
was in,
relatable.
and he was in the
Yeah.
He doesn't
process
change
of.
his dialect. Even the bruv, everything, you know, like the whole, like, so in America, I saw on Twitter his promo against Jericho went viral
Bruv.
because he used the word bruv like 17 times. To us,
Yeah.
that is so normal. Like to
Yeah,
us, that is so what
I'm
we're
Northern
used to.
and I say bruv.
Hey, bro, listen, I call these lot bro and blood and bro. It's so bad, but this is the thing, yeah. We're used to wrestlers with like even like a Toni Storm. If you hear how she speaks, she's very eloquent. It's very rare we hear people that sound like us talk like us on the main stage, because a lot of the times, even for us, say like we go into certain, you think I can be like, yo, Wagwan people, no. So when you hear it, it instantly relates, and that's where it was. That's why it was only viral in America. Like over here, it was like, oh yeah, that's normal.
No, it's just a good
Do you know what
promo.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And Will would have been involved with Don Callis at that time
Yes,
too.
he still is.
So
He is his first apostle on the painting of the. Oh, there's a question for you boys. So he's now got
to that picture
3 apostles on the Last Supper. He's got Will Ospreay, he's got Powerhouse Hobbs, and he's got Sammy Guevara. 4 apostles: Sammy Guevara and Takeshita. Who are the other 8?
For anyone that doesn't know, Jesus had 12 disciples / apostles.
I'm just going for I need a bathroom break, and I'm going to leave you with that question until I get back.
No worries. 8 more wrestlers.
So yeah,
people to fill that.
Jesus had 12. Jesus had 12 disciples, and one of them ended up turning on him and betraying him. And that's basically like one of the big stories in very, very layman's terms of the painting. That painting based around the Last Supper.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the whole why. That's why there's intrigue on is there going to be 8 more wrestlers.
So this story will play out for a while yet. Like they're going to
Like the family's going to grow.
Yeah. Now Takeshita is fighting Kyle Fletcher on Rampage this week too.
Oh, that's going to be such a match.
Yeah,
that is going to be fun. But the thing is, yeah, because AEW now work with like 27 different wrestling companies, they could be smart 2 from every company.
Yeah, it could literally be anybody. So that's you know, and I've said this before, right? When you're viewing what AEW is doing, you can't think one-dimensional on it. You got to think multi-dimensional. Who is available? Who are they working with? Who makes sense? Like, you know, there's a lot more to kind of take in, right?
I agree with what Handsome said here.
Yeah, me too.
Well, this is my thing.
If they're going to make it that big of a stable.
But I just responded.
2 factions to throw at you there. Bullet Club, 28 members at its peak. NWO, an entire roster.
70,000. Exactly. And
Damn.
also, let's not forget, Don Callis is a manager. Yeah. So even if there are 12 regulars, there's 3, 4 different companies. It doesn't mean they're all going to be coming out as one. Don Callis can be on First of
Exactly.
all, Andrade. I say Andrade. I see Andrade fitting that table perfectly. He could come onto Collision with Andrade and Fletcher.
I will
and then
raise
go
you, and I will see your Andrade and raise you Roosh.
And the
Ooh,
entirety of Ingobernable
Of-
Nobles.
ooh. Yeah, yeah. But there you go. But do you see what I'm saying? And even with that, you can keep it separated because you have Collision,
Yeah.
you have Rampage, you got CMML, you
you have
got
Ring of Honor.
you got New Japan, you got Ring of Honor. You
Yeah,
see what
that
I'm
might work. That might.
Rush could
And the
also
But
thing
be
don't
the
is-
just
guy in
have
the
like
match.
all 12 of them coming out all the time together. Like that's too much.
They're gonna do it because otherwise the painting wouldn't be there. They wouldn't have
Not
put
all
the
the
painting
time.
there.
And speaking of Rush, he could also be the guy in the mask because him and Max had some dealings back leading up to the Danielson match.
Yeah,
You remember?
Handsome. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying the portrait is already on his entrance. They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, we better strap in. Shit, it's
It's going
already.
to be a bumpy
They done
ride.
already trigger on it. Right.
Let me see
Speaking
what
of
else
working
we
with
got
other
here on the
companies,
topic list.
Speaking of working
CMLL.
for other companies.
CMLL.
Oh, indeed.
Seamless, blinding segue.
Ooh. So
Mystico.
Mystico and
Versus Rocky
Romero had a very nice 2 out of 3 falls there on Rampage last week.
Yes, they did. And Mystico didn't screw up the Mystico special for the first time in 4 years.
Because he had that fire lit under him, man.
He has not been the same since he was Sin Cara.
Oh, of
Like
course
if
not.
you if
No,
you
but
look
he's
at the
doing
Mystico,
much better than he was back in WWE.
Oh yeah, but if you look at the Mystico that existed before WWE, he was like Juventud Guerrero and Rey Mysterio had a child and they called it Mystico.
Oh no, yeah. Mystico before WWE was literally a computer game.
It was insane the
Flawless
things he was
computer
capable of
game.
doing. Then Triple H hired him. He broke his finger and lost all of his mojo. Right?
No.
Then he got
concussed
replaced by
himself.
Hunico.
He concussed himself entrance. That's what it was.
That
And
was
he just
funny.
never recovered. That's what it was.
That was funny. But I will say the triple threat match, the 2 out of 3 falls match with Rocky the other day was a work of art.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
perfect translation of how a Lucha Rules 2 out of 3 falls match translates to an American TV show.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
also-
Rocky Romero deserves a lot of credit because he was the general in that match. He called all of the spots and he ran the match
But
at his
Rocky
pace.
Romero's a big day.
And Rocky came out in character
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Rocky is
for
a
that
main
Guevara.
event.
for that promotion.
Guys, let's not a main event player in Mexico. So it's not like he's new to carrying a match or being the main general of the match. Also, to Mystico's to his credit, he's 40 years old.
Yeah, Mystico's getting up there in age.
Yeah, he's been around a while.
They talk about him like he's the second coming of flipping El Santo as well now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
You know, but this gets, you know, once again more eyeballs on another promotion on, you know, a major American TV.
Yeah.
And, you know, so it's a win.
Well, Dave, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but I've said for years that the only way to beat Vince is a conglomerate. Like everyone has tried to go up against WWF, WWE now for years on their own, and every single time they fail miserably because there isn't one wrestling company alive that is big enough or financially stable enough to take on Vince McMahon on their own.
No, you're
However,
never gonna put them out of business.
You put AW, CMML, New Japan, Rev Pro, all under one banner.
Like,
that's a different kettle of fish because now you have the cross-branded, crossing the streams effect where you don't know who's going to show up from AEW and CMML and vice versa. You don't know who's going to show up on Ring of Honor. You don't know who's going to show up in New Japan. You don't know who from New Japan's going to show up over here. Perfect example is Okada being advertised for Dynamite for 3 days.
And you're probably going to get Moxley at Wrestle Kingdom, most likely against Ospreay.
Oh yeah.
Won't be against Ospreay. Ospreay's wrestling Kenny. Guaranteed.
Guys,
third match.
Speaking of a match that we haven't spoken, Santana v Ortiz.
Yep, I haven't seen that yet, but that's
on Rampage on Friday.
Yeah,
it's not out, but I'm saying, how are we feeling for that one? How are you feeling about the build up, the storyline? Do you think the match will?
I'm going to use my brother's point of view. This whole thing is pointless because it's 6 months late. Mike Santana has obviously been on the juice since he was away because he's tripled his body size.
He is massive.
He has got.
You're like me. I know his physique's the same. That guy has come back swollen, bro.
Yeah, he is huge. I was a huge fan of Santana and Ortiz as a tag team. Just for their entire run through Impact, through AAA, through everything they did. They were a very, very, very modern, what's the word? Hyperized version of LAX. If that makes any sense to everybody.
I didn't know AEW had ticket sales boost after Mystico was announced.
They did, yeah.
Yes.
Quite a bit.
They did. Yeah. They got the same with Okada. Okada, they announced 3 days before the show. And
I know Okada was going to push tickets.
Well, this is the crazy thing. A lot of people are under the impression that, and it's partially true, that AEW have a very niche audience. Because AEW's audience are the pro wrestling fans. They're the smart marks. Yeah. That's the general overview. And the general consensus is that they aren't very good at attracting casual fans.
No, they're not.
WWE are not very good at attracting hardcore fans. They're very good at attracting casuals. They're not too good at keeping hold of the hardcore fans, except the ones that have watched the product for years and not become disillusioned of it.
They both need to take from each other.
Exactly.
A little more.
This is why, just a random question. Dave, what's your opinion? Collision.
On Collision? Mm-hmm. It has a different feel than Dynamite.
Yes.
Like I said, Dynamite feels like a quick hit, bang, 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 bang. And Collision feels like it's more of a blend with story and in-ring action.
Exactly.
Now,
the way I put it is...
the odd thing is, though...
Go on.
The in-ring action on Collision and Dynamite are often almost identical.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still blended.
It's the presentation.
Yeah.
I call Dynamite indie-rific because I think that was the whole point of AEW. They're presenting indie wrestling on a grand stage.
Yeah.
Here's Collision. Collision is for the lapsed WWE fans. That's Collision, what I feel.
Collision is for the WCW fans.
Look
at the
even right
look
down
at
to
the
logo and the logo.
The logo. No. The branding. The branding. 100%.
100%. Is Nitro.
From the initial advertising.
It's not just that. If you go back and watch early Nitros from say 96 and 97, Sav, you'll notice they use the exact same camera work on Collision. The cameras, the hard cams in the same place. The two ring cams are in the same place. It's the same production style that WCW used to use because Tony's such a mark for it. And
watch this though, bro, and you're gonna agree, especially like I live in London, innit? Yeah, from 97 to about 2000, just before WCW went out of business, you had more fans that would channel switch back and forth. And so this is why I said it's kind of, when I say this for the lapsed WWE fan, this is slightly what I meant. WWF fans even. There are fans from that. Wonderful. There are fans from that time there, from back then that haven't watched, and they will see that, and it will bring them back to, this reminds me of what I used to watch back in. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why I said Collision I feel like they target a different audience. They're like, yo, we can do sports entertainment and promos and vignettes too, but at the same time, this is the quality of our matches.
Yeah.
That's what I
They-
see Collision as. I find Collision
they
more
blend them.
enjoyable than Dynamite.
I agree. Collision is the opposite of WCW Thunder.
Yeah.
As in, it's a
Very
totally
true
necessary piece of broadcasting.
And to go back to, we're basically still on the same point, but Nick's initial point there of putting one out of business or whatnot. You're not, neither company as they're currently constructed can go head to head with each other doing the exact same thing. AEW is
No.
not going to outdo what WWE excels at.
No.
And that goes the other way, right? WWE is not going to outdo what AEW excels at, which is in ring, right? So they went the opposite direction, and it gives you that, okay, if this is what you like, you have WWE, right? That's a good thing. If you
But
like
if
something,
you want some of this, come over here.
come over here.
Exactly.
And Impact is different yet again, right?
Impact doesn't really get enough credit.
No, they don't.
No.
Like,
So I'm
They-
hoping with the TNA switch, it starts
they-
getting more eyeballs on
Yeah.
it because it
I mean,
should.
they are the land of the misfit toys.
Like
And
that's
I mean,
Like
I
that Bound for
think
Glory.
that goes to the shirt that you're wearing, Nicholas.
Yeah. And I was gonna ask you about that still. I was going to say, what happened with GCW and AEW's partnership? Why it ended so abruptly? Do you have
Stephanie
any
McMahon.
insight? Ah.
Brett Lauderdale is very, very good friends with Stephanie McMahon.
Hmm.
And Tony Khan wasn't that good at paying GCW talent on time.
Yeah, I knew that.
Right. And also, Tony Khan is very good at stealing GCW talent without giving anything back.
He did that
Jungle
to TNA
Boy.
as well. He did
Jungle
that to
Boy
Impact.
came from GCW. Max came from GCW.
Mm-hmm.
The Pillars came from GCW. That's where he stole them all. And he never really, right? To give Vince credit, I'll use ECW back in the day as an example. Vince took the Dudleys and Taz in one fell swoop from GCW. But he sent them Doug Furness, Nicole Bass, Philip LaFon, and Jerry Lawler and 6 other wrestlers as a way for Paul to bolster his booking while he'd lost his big stars, while he positioned guys to replace the Dudleys and to replace Taz in the company. Tony just likes going, come work for me. Yeah, forget about that place. And Brett Lauderdale had
to everybody, even if he's not going to use.
And then Stephanie McMahon came in and basically had a massive good conversation with Brett Lauderdale because Brett Lauderdale used to work for WWE. And now Brett Lauderdale has a partnership with WWE on a developmental process. Meaning we will see a lot more guys, even though a lot of his guys like Blake Christian, etc., have ended up in Ring of Honor and a couple of places like that. The next few years, we will see a lot more guys from GCW end up in the NXT system, I believe, than we will in AEW.
And that'll be a good thing.
Yeah,
it'll be a
100%.
very good thing. Blake Christian is the perfect example. Blake Christian could not wrestle a lick before he went to NXT.
I wish
Gaia him for a few months. They brought him back out.
I wish Gaia was in this chat right now. Gaia is a massive Blake Christian fan. Massive. Probably just had a heart attack if she heard you say that.
No,
you get guys coming into NXT that have been there. They're bringing all that experience with them.
Exactly.
I have one
So that's
talent.
a win-win.
Well, the win-win, because all that Sean needs to do is teach them how to wrestle on TV.
I have one talent that I'll bring up that has gotten better with his in-ring work since he's been with NXT, but he really needed the mic work. Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes came into NXT and he was already a top-level in-ring talent. He just needed to polish a few things. Him working on his mic skills with people like Shawn Michaels and people that have charisma on the same kind of level as Carmelo, it was tremendous for him on the microphone.
Not so much working with Sean, but working with Road Dogg.
Yeah.
Let's face it, Sean was not a good talker.
No, not really.
Sean
he had charisma though.
Sean had great charisma, bags of it, and his in-ring work was so good that it carried past everything else he did back in the day because he stood out so much. But he was never the best promo guy. Road Dogg, on the other hand, the worst wrestler out of the Armstrong family, but the best talker out of the Armstrong family.
Yeah, he could talk for days.
You give him.
I think pairing him up with Trick too, because Trick seems like he's either been practicing since birth or he's a natural. I don't know, but he can go on that
Trick
mic. So putting Melo next to him,
Trick annoys you.
is a good.
Trick, no. I said Trick reminds me of one of those. Remember in school, yeah, where you will have that one kid that's always talks himself out of getting in trouble. Like he always just has the gift of the gap. That's what Trick reminds me of. It's just transitioned into his promo game.
I think when Trick hits the main roster, he is going to be over like Rover.
100%.
Oh yeah.
He is, and then he will be buried in the mid card for 6 months.
Yes.
Well, he's
unfortunately,
but he is getting better in the ring.
But
Dagger.
I was going to say, with Triple H in charge, being put in the mid card, not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not necessarily a burial.
Look at Gunther.
Yeah.
That's a mid card title.
Oh well, yeah. You're right. You're right.
With Trick's catchphrase that he got going on, the whole crowd knows that, right?
They do it in AEW.
That Trick.
Right.
Yeah, they were doing it in AEW.
Did you hear that? Yeah, I heard that.
But that was the parallel I was going to make. Reminds me a bit of Swerve.
Oh, whose house? Swerve's house.
Yeah,
but Swerve isn't. Swerve isn't over because of his catchphrase. Let's be real. Swerve's catchphrase only started getting over this last year. Yeah, when he would say it in promo, they would say it for him because that's a call and response. But you see, like when his entrance drops now and the whole crowd says it. That's only been happening recently. Trick. They heard that theme song. Because don't forget, Trick's old school theme. It's a grime theme. It's called grime music, isn't it? So over here, so the whole whoop that trick.
Trick.
Do you get it? Like that's an instant. If you notice, when he came out with the new entrance theme, they were doing the whoop that trick thing. Then they realized, oh shit, it's slower.
Do you think anybody else knows that in English that means beat that hoe?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. No,
that's what it means.
That's what whoop that trick means over here. It means it's a pimp like a. Do you get it?
It's a pimp line. You're like,
Yeah.
But that's going to get him in the door up there.
100%.
And it's going to,
I
you don't have to
be
be
on his in-ring.
putting on matches like Omega on Raw to get over in the ring with that.
Hell no, you don't.
You just got to be Tozawa. You just got to be Tozawa.
Beat Tozawa.
Just beat Tozawa.
Tozawa is one of my favorite characters for no reason.
It was so funny when he challenged.
Like I love him.
He chopped him.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
No.
And
brilliant.
And to circle back to Hayes for a moment, the other person that got him much higher elevated than he was is Dragon.
Wait, don't say that. Oh, I knew it. I was going to answer it for you.
Yeah. Everybody that steps in the ring or has any interaction with that man all of them have come out the better for it.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. Like,
he's a real deal.
In professional wrestling, that labels you as a star maker.
Yeah. Like, to have that talent is priceless, and there's not a lot that can do it.
No, but I will use Chris Jericho as the example of the star maker that was.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho was so good at making stars out of his opponents that he was always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And it wasn't till what? Vengeance 2004? When he beat The Rock in Austin. I think it was Vengeance 2004. Yeah, 2004.
Well, even then, he still wasn't the guy because he was playing
Stephanie's lapdog. He was Stephanie's lapdog.
If anything,
he was never the star.
Champion, yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, that's Trick Williams' future. He'll be the guy that will make stars. He won't necessarily play second fiddle to anybody, but he will make stars.
Trick Williams
is so good at making
the next
stars.
Black world champion, bro. Mark my words.
No.
He will. Because as Davey said, you do not need to be an in-ring wizard on the main roster.
No.
If he's over now in NXT, and this is the thing, NXT, they have two type of support. The NXT crowd, they have two. They have the we're NXT loyalists, we will support. So like Chase U, they're not over. They support Chase U because it's a homegrown thing,
Yeah.
as
Mhm.
opposed to he's over. Carmelo Hayes, he's over. Ilya's over. If Trick is over in NXT with the hardcore NXT fans, the ones that are now still coming back in and instantly taken to him, he's gonna be money on the main roster, which is still predominantly Vince McMahon era fans and new old school NXT black and gold coming in. Trick is money, bro. And this is the thing. I've not enjoyed maybe half of his matches, but I
Mhm.
am fully sold on him. Do you see what I'm saying? So watch
Because
if he
he
starts
knows his
having,
character.
Yeah.
and
Like
he's
as a
big, he's
parallel,
believable, he can talk, he's money. You want him in media, you want him in pro. Like trust me, bro. He has a big future.
and as a parallel with the two NXT guys, Trick will flourish on the main roster due to the character and the package that he is. Right? And
I agree.
he's over in NXT. They love him there. Wesley
Love them.
is over in NXT.
Wesley
He will get
flounder.
lost in the shuffle on the main roster.
Absolutely lost in the shuffle.
And he'll
yeah.
get lost
I'm
in the
worried
shuffle on the
about.
main
Yeah, I'm
roster
worried
because
about.
Triple H looks at him as a vanilla midget.
Yeah, 100%. But also, I don't think
I'm
he has
terrified for
charisma.
Wesley.
Wesley don't have enough charisma to carry him onto the main roster.
Wesley's a
No,
tag
he's
guy.
like a less talented Ricochet.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yee. But
That's
guys,
funny.
listen, seriously, sorry, because what's the time? It's 4:30 for you, isn't it, Nick?
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
9:30 here for us, so I believe that should be about time for us to start wrapping up the show.
100%. So let's
I
do some
think we
quick
should
fires.
take my suggestion in our chat and everybody move to Raleigh so we can get on the same fucking time zone.
Move to North
Oh, no.
Carolina.
Well,
Just introduce everybody like
that's
that.
it for
From
me.
North Carolina.
But we're gonna start.
Hell
We're gonna start to the right of me, Nick. Thank you for joining us for the
Been a
first
pleasure.
time. Go ahead, plug everything for yourself one last time.
Okay. Ladies and gents, as said earlier, I am Nick the Geek. You can find me over on the Wrestling Legion YouTube channel and on Twitter at WrestlingWYT Nick. Every Sunday we do podcasts every now. Oh, actually, before I go, questions. May, you want to do the show, yes?
Yes.
Right. Sav, are you free, Remy, on the 18th of November?
I am.
Do you want to do a judging lot again?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I was told
Awesome.
I was a great judge.
Yes, you were. So I want you back. So it'll be the same judges for the rematch as it was. On November the 18th, I will be doing the rubber match of the century for fantasy booking between the captain and Jimmy. They are finally going to decide a winner. This time, there will be a winner. There will be no goddamn tie. I will make sure of it. But we are going to be doing that on November 18th over on the Wrestling Legion YouTube channel. You'll find myself and two great guys, Andy and Simon, over there. We have got over 100 years of wrestling experience between us, and we like to put the world to rights. So if you like listening to three old British men talk about professional wrestling, that's where you need to come.
All right, and on to Nick's right to Davey.
Maybe. You can find me every Sunday on the Rob All podcast for the football as we do a watch along there. Tuesdays on the weekly recap. Thursdays for the crew day as we are here. And I believe this was before Remy joined us this evening. Possibly this Saturday for a collision watch along.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
100%.
So Nick,
100% is good.
Davey, and Remy on Saturday for the watch along.
That is the plan.
Excellent.
All right,
KB.
right down below Davey to KB.
Just follow me on Twitter. I tweet. I talk my shit on there. I don't have a podcast aside from this one. And I appreciate y'all letting me be a part of the crew day. But yeah, at Vigorous Mental on Twitter. That's where I talk my shit. Huge sports fan, wrestling, basketball mainly. So if you into that, go Celtics. And light the spliff and join us next week. You did?
And last but not least, Remy, take us home.
Yeah, everyone, thank you for today. Thank you for this stream. As per usual, it's always good vibes. Me, what do I have to plug? Same old, same old. Remy So Sav. Away from my wrestling contributions, I am also a gamer, a streamer. My Twitch is there in the chat. I'm also a musician. You can search me on any music platform with this name here. That's going to be in the chat in a second. And my Twitter is also Remy So. I do random watch alongs as I did last night with Davey. So with me, you just have to stay tuned into my Twitter I'm doing so you don't miss nothing. And yeah, crew day. Shout out Shug.
And yeah, we do love you, Shug. You guys can find me almost anywhere. Just look on YouTube and you might see my face. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. This is the point where I remind you all to stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, don't get arrested. Tune into everything that we do on this channel, and we will see you all next time.
See you guys.
Bye bye.